Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the M53 M55. It's the Tier 9 American SPG. This one, with 3 marks of excellence, is located on the south spawn of Mines, and it's under the command of Oxagon of ANIML, and he's got improved vents, gun laying drive, and rammer.
Let's go.
Game on. He's also using the extra rammer, or the ammo rack, I think it is, as it's called. So he's really maximizing on reload. He's got the 8-inch howitzer, which is 203mm in caliber, 900 alpha, and 52mm of pen. And he's waiting for an enemy tank to make its way into the castle grounds. So he's got a round almost ready. But I think he might be firing into this bunch up here. In fact, yes, he does. And his first round goes in and damages 3 tanks together at the same time. But look at that. The enemy object 261 fired around in this direction, straight from the off. He was waiting for Oxagon to fire to work out where he was. Now, the enemy team's got an object 261 and a 212A, whereas we've got a GW-E100 and the M53 M55. He's loaded. Rounds out straight away. Oh, and he's done it again. Look at this. He's really maximizing, because he not only gets those hits, but he's also getting stun assists as well at the same time. Hugging the wall, which of course is a common tactic for players down this end, because it's very difficult for the enemy Arty to get a shot over that wall. And you can see we've just fired, the GW-E100 just fired, and that might actually not be good for him. Okay, we're looking for a shot. The K91 rounds out. Direct hit again. 544. Hugs the wall. Yes, if you're a little further back, as that GW-E100 is, you really do need to move about a lot more than he is at the moment, because that 261 might get attracted by the sight of those tracers coming in from his spot. They won't be able to do much about Oxagon, but they can certainly do something about the GW. Oh, another hit! 451 hit the front of them. And you notice he stayed long enough to see where the shell went before he moved to get to a safe spot. I would say, though, that he is actually going back to the same spot every time after he's shot, and not hugging the wall for very long. And he needs to take into account that the enemy Arty might actually take a shot at any time. And he's just wiped out the Rambo. He used the non-stun HE with the extra damage, and of course that did actually hit the Rambo directly. You heard the sizzle as the round went off against the hull. 1100 alpha, 65mm of pen, and a 6-meter burst radius, and he's so accurate with the shells that, yes, that guy took the full force. Now, that K91 is rather silly, because he's gone up to the gate and he's trying to use the gate to actually shoot at our teammates. And there we just put a round right up his rear, and he took 2 hits. One from us, hitting him at the rear for 533, and another for 489 from one of our teammates, because he got tracked in the process. Again, he's slightly angling it over now. He's going slightly to one side to actually change his firing position after each shot. He's still in the same general area, though, and that object 261 might take that as an intent to actually stay there. And there you go. The enemy Arty fires into the spot, just where I said. Now, I don't watch these videos before they happen, so I wasn't pre-watching and seeing that was about to happen. I actually just worked it out that was what was going to happen. And yes, the enemy Arty did oblige. It's logical that the enemy will see the tracer coming out from the same spot every time. And if you spend most of your time back in the position where the shell tracers are originating from, then you're more likely to receive a shell. So you need, there goes another one. And I think that one was aimed in the general direction of the GW-E100 rather than us. So somebody on the other end is actually doing counter battery. Again, it just makes it better, smarter, to actually take avoiding action in between your shots at the enemy tanks. The Leopard 1's doing a good job for us because he's highlighting if any enemy tank is up on top of the hill. As long as he's there, it's very difficult for the enemy to do anything about shooting down from the top of the hill, because they'll get proximity spots every time they go there. It might be a good idea, though, for us to change position, because two enemy tanks, so 50 TP and the other one's a Conqueror, are actually on the east side of the map, and the Leopard is actually trying to prevent them from coming any further south, but he might be able to spot for us, and we might be able to get a shot into him. G-Saw tank, the medium tank, is AFK, and we just got 385 off him, and straight into cover. Now I'm wondering, did the sound go there? Yes, I think it may have, just for a brief moment. Okay, he's pulling back out. Again, he needs to be careful, just in case that enemy Arty says, well, he keeps firing from this position. I think I'll put one in there just to see if he's still there. Gorilla 15 makes a perfect target, rounds out. And it explodes short, but it will have done some damage. That's for certain. Now, I would definitely change position in terms of going a little closer to those two houses slightly to our left, and to actually mix it up, make it more difficult for the enemy. It might make it more difficult to hit the gorilla whilst he's at the other end of the castle, but one or two shots in that general direction and he'll probably change his mind anyway, especially when he sees the Panzer 7 coming into the castle grounds as well as the Leopard. He's going to have to come out there somehow, and in fact I think he's about to find out. Oh, beautiful shot, kill shot. Okay, we can see our teammate in the GWE-100 has taken some position outside the grounds of the castle, and that's it, the game's over. They've just won. Well, I mixed up what I said there at the end, because I said he came out of the grounds of the castle, but in actual fact the GWE-100 came out from that position in the corner, mainly because he knew that there was nobody in the castle grounds anymore to shoot down at him. That Gorilla 15 had gone, and therefore he could come out of that spot and not worry about any further interruption. In fact, he'd come out to improve his angle so he could shoot at the enemy tanks, the last few remaining ones, who were over on the east side of the map. Oxagon managed to get an ace tanker out of that game, yet another one. He also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 11. He got a Gauss medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points for his own vehicle. And on top of that, he got a Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. And his win rate from that game, 5,344. Very good score indeed. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he was actually second on damage in the game, because the Panzer 7 managed 4,704 hit points of damage. 4,010 went to Oxagon, and the third highest, well, 3,995, and that went to the Leopard 1. The same guy was at the bottom of the hill, but he was still shooting enemy tanks that were either in the hill or actually were outside the hill, but he was stopping them coming any further south. So that's second place for Oxagon. When it came to kills, top scorers were the Sharp YouTube 4 on our team, and on the enemy team, their Gorilla 15, of course, he took care of that guy, wiped him out with one nice clean shot towards the end of the game. 2 kills went to the Panzerkampfwagen 7, and also to Oxagon, and to the Leopard 1, and to the GWE-100, and the 50 TP. So a lot of players were all very good. But you can see that there's a few players who were exceptional in that game, and it turns out to be the Panzerkampfwagen 7, Oxagon, and of course the Leopard 1. On the enemy team, there was only the one player, that Gorilla, who managed to get 3 kills, and then everyone else either got 1 kill or nothing, so they weren't that great, the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, we can see it's Oxagon in second place again. So he got it second on damage and now second on base XP. Top scorer this time was the Leopard 1 with 1,126, followed by Oxagon with 1,107. And in third place, it's the Panzerkampfwagen 7 with 1,058. So those three players were really rocking it in that game. Oxagon fired 11 rounds, only 11, but he kept moving and he was actually doing very well. Although the enemy Arty did try to nail him more than once. 8 enemy direct hits on the enemy, I should say. 16 splashes, 4,010 hit points of damage, all of it done at more than 300 meters. And 1 hit by way of splash. That was the enemy Arty right at the start of the game. Got very close, but that was only because he picked a well-known spot to fire from right at the start, hoping that he would actually get the enemy tanks on their way into the hill. And I think the Object 261 must have known that he was going to be there and probably worked out, yeah, now would be a good time to put a shell in there. And it did work. He did get some damage, but not a lot. 9 enemy vehicles were damaged, 2 were killed, 489 hit points of track damage and damage assist, I should say, and 1,047 hit points of stun assist of 10 stuns. On a premium count, he actually made 10,049 credits profit from that game, and he also took away 8,304 experience points as well, after getting a mission completion bonus of 6,644. So a very, very good game there by Oxagon. We've got more than one coming, so there's another replay for you. Just before I would actually say that second replay and go into it, I would actually point out to those people who do send me replays by email to the email address underneath in the description, please do upload the replay to preferably What Record, because of course What Replays doesn't seem to be working correctly anymore. But please upload the replay before you send it and send the URL. Don't send the replay unless I ask you to, because so many people are just attaching the replay file and then sending that off and not even doing me the service of actually uploading it as well and sending the URL with the files. I mean, I don't mind if you do send the files if you have uploaded it, because then at least I can access it through the replay site. But if you're just sending the files, that file could be anything and it could be a virus. And I don't really think it's very kind of somebody to send me a file unless I ask for it. So please do not send me the file unless I ask for it, and do upload it to a replay site. So the replay site will recognize it as a replay file. And if it's not a replay file, it won't recognize it and it won't upload it. And then I know that it's not a virus. So there you go. There's the answer. If you do send me just the replay files, I will quite happily send them back to you and won't touch them. So there you go. You're not going to get your replays done if you send me just the files. Do upload them first and do the courtesy of actually sending me the URL instead. Anyway, the next replay, let's have a look at that one. The second replay is on the Karelia map, and we're on the northeast spawn. Well, you can see that Oxagon has got Soul Collector, also from ANIML, in his team, in his platoon, and he's in the T-30, the Tier 9 American turreted tank destroyer with the 155mm gun. Tier 9 game with Tier 7 tanks in it. So this Arty is going to have a substantial effect on the enemy. The other Arty is an M12. That's Tier 7, we're Tier 9. Okay, he's in position, 3 marks of excellence on the barrel. And he's going to start off the game by aiming towards the horseshoe. And the enemy's been sighted way back using the rock. So it's an invitation to land an egg on him. And he does. In fact, it's a penetrating shot straight off the bat, 989. These shells are doing 900 alpha, 52mm pen, with a 10.4 meters burst radius and between 12.5 and 28 seconds of stun. That Progetto just took a massive hit to his hit points, and yeah, he's not going to be very happy. Rounds out again. Well, if the Progetto... Oh, he's not the only one there. There's an 87 there now, and he just took some damage from that shot. Yes, they say if you are in a storm and there's lightning about, don't stand under a tree. You're just inviting trouble. And that's another penetrating shot for 953 this time. Just the other day, we saw another of the excellent videos by Enviro. Of course, those are mostly, well, they're actually made from clips that have actually been produced by people who stream World of Tanks. And he obviously picks the right moments. Oh! The 87 goes back to the garage. Now, the thing is that Enviro actually occasionally does those videos where he shows people being hit by Arty. And a lot of those players, those streamers, are actually very disrespectful to Arty. In fact, one particular player, a lady called Battle Swan, she actually referred to Arty as very dumb players. Yeah, we heard that, you know. We did hear it, and of course it will have an effect upon your gameplay. If you keep referring to Arty as nasty people, then the Arty might actually take umbrage at that, and they might decide to land a few eggs on you. So you're actually attracting fire by being nasty towards Arty players. So not a smart move. If you want to influence people, then that is one way of doing it. Influencing them by making them want to hit you. In fact, it is quite funny seeing people who are playing World of Tanks and they suddenly get struck by Arty. A lot of them will be very anti-Arty at that particular moment in time, but then if you got hit, then you were vulnerable and the Arty took advantage of it. So the answer is, of course, don't be vulnerable. Be Arty safe. Rounds out. Another 207 hit points. And he actually damaged the track there, so he got damage assist. So yes, if you are a streamer and you are very anti-Arty, don't be surprised if somebody clips one of those moments and then it appears in a video, because then, you know, the Arty might take revenge. Rounds out. Unfortunately, the target was already gone, but you can see that the Arty also on the enemy team, their M53, M55 just killed our A phase 1. It's also very wrong for people to actually say that Arty are dumb, because they're not. In fact, in a lot of games, it's the Arty that actually do win the game for their team. They make it easier for their team to get kills on the enemy tanks. And of course, sometimes they're the last ones left alive on their team, and they actually have to go out there and win the game face to face with the enemy. SU-130PM, very vulnerable, rounds out. Well, it landed nearby, and you can see both Artys focused on him at the same moment. So that SU-130PM was recognized by the other Arty as well as a prime target. Tank destroyers do make excellent targets because, of course, they have very little armor. Most of them have virtually no armor whatsoever, especially things like the Gorilla and the Waffenträger. And that, so consequently, you can get more damage on those ones than you do on many of the others. So at the moment, you can see the M12 is also aiming at this AMX 5100, and you can see that Oxagon is not even indicating that target as his primary target. He's just, the other Arty's thinking the same way. He's looking at the same target and saying, yeah, that's the one I need to hit. And that was a good shot on the fly. He changed his target very rapidly, but it worked. He still managed to land the shell to get some damage. But you see, Arty players do tend to think the same way because they're looking at the map through their mini-map, they're choosing their targets, and then they're working out which one they need to fire at in order to get the most damage. Well, that's 752 sitting up there next to the bunker that's been destroyed by the special event. That 752 actually is now a good target to shoot at. It's a bit of a difficult target to go for, though. The MX5100 is emptying his magazine at the moment. And I think he's just gone into reload. Well, Salt Collector in the T30 is now making his way towards the other side of the horseshoe, the cliff side that faces on to the swamp, and he might actually try to get up and get into the rear. Or is he going down the... No, he's going to go down the South Pass. I would have gone the opposite way. I would have come up behind that 752 and given him a nasty surprise. That way he could also take advantage of this AMX5100 after he's done that. But no, he's definitely decided to go down the South Pass. And there's the Waffenträger. And as I said, Waffenträger's very little armor, make perfect targets. And he has gone. He was taken out by Soul Collector, actually. And another shell on a snap actually goes against the AMX5100, and that was the M12 following up. It is a good idea to notify your targets. If you mark your targets with a T key, then you let everyone know that that's the one you're going for. And if the other Arty sees that marker showing that you're going for it, he might also go for it as well. Not only because if he can stun it, he'll get the stun assist, but also that he recognizes that if he's aiming for the same target and you do some substantial damage, then he might get an easy kill out of it. We're 2 down on the enemy at the moment. Of course, the special events on Karelia do change the shape of the attack on the South Pass, the area that actually we're looking at right now. And that 752's gone up on top of the swamp facing side of the horseshoe, and that snapshot didn't work. Bit too close to the cliff, I think, but you can see that he's knocking trees down as he's moving about at the cliff edge. The standard reload for the 203mm howitzer is 40.27 seconds, and you can see here that Oxagon's got it down to 27.53. Of course, it's actually quite a narrow arc of fire. Did I actually mention the wrong reload time? I think I did, actually. The standard reload is actually 37.39, so he's actually reduced it by 10 seconds. Because it's such a narrow arc, only 4 degrees, it dials in extra quick. And the M12 has just clocked another kill, or clocked his first kill, I think. Yes, he's clocked his first kill. He actually managed to get the Crusader SP. Oh my god, that's incredible. The M12 just picked up another kill, and they were both aiming for the same spot at the same time. So the shells landed almost next to each other. And, well, it looks like Oxagon stunned him and tracked him, and then the M12 took the kill directly afterwards. So it did work, but we're down to below 4 minutes now in the game, and there's still 5 left on either team. So we've managed to get back our deficit of 2 tanks, but this is going down to the wire. 5 left on each team is still a lot. And both of our Arty are still alive and active. Soul Collector has 2 kills. Oxagon only the 1, but the M12 now has 2. And there's a lovely target. And let's hope that the M12 is also going for that one. Yes! That's a penetrating shot. 915. Come on, M12. Are you loaded? Give it one. He's pulling back a little. There's the M12. He is watching what's going on. He's following Oxagon's lead. That was a sudden and big hit point gain. And oh my god, look at this. Object 752 is now going for Soul Collector. And we've given Soul Collector a chance. Reduced him to only 99 hit points. The M12 gets another kill. And that's 3 now for him. And he saves T30, well, Soul Collector, from any further damage. That SU-130PM's back. We're still loading, but we might be able to hit this guy. Okay, he's judged he's going in that direction. We've still got one other player in the game. In fact, the M12 just took out the SU-130PM, so he obviously did keep his eye on that spot, and the SU-130PM did appear, and he took the kill. But now we've got the UDES 03. He's their last tank destroyer up on top of the horseshoe. Soul Collector's come back to near the cap, and we're into the last 2 minutes now. One Arty left on the enemy team, and the only other one they've got is the Super Hellcat, the tank destroyer. And there he is. He's coming in by the back door, and he doesn't last very long because Soul Collector finishes him off. So this one is definitely going down to the wire. No, his intuition's working to actually change the shell. And there's one of the enemy Arty. We now know he's on the south pass, but we also suspect that the UDES is down there as well. Last minute. The other Arty is the M53, M55. If you remember, the Crusader SP went down to, I think it was Soul Collector earlier in the game. I think the UDES is going to be the problem though. Well, wait, if the sixth sense goes off, we've been spotted, it might be the UDES. Soul Collector's coming up behind us. Last 25 seconds. We're on the move as we're going, and he's in the aim view. If we do meet that M53, M55. And he spotted him. He spotted the M53. He's on the other side. I don't know how he's doing this in aim view, but we're looking in his general direction now. And unfortunately, he got the shot off first. And that's the end of us, but it's also a draw. Here's the end of battle stats. And that was a first-class tanker for Oxagon of ANIML in the 212A. He managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 13. He got a Gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. And he got the High Caliber for dealing the most damage in that game overall. At least 20% of the enemy hit pool and over 1,000 hit points. His win rate was 6,136, which is Super Unicum standard and quite a bit more. Let's have a look at team score. Well, there you go. The highest damage was 5,412 hit points of damage, beating the Object 752 on the enemy team with 4,866. In fact, there were 2 752s, one over the far side, if you remember. That was the one who got wiped out, and he got 3,544 hit points. When it came to the fourth, well, that's actually the those two were the second and third on damage. And of course, the fourth on damage was the enemy Arty that actually killed Oxagon at the end of the game, 3,392 hit points, and he got a Confederate in that game. When it came to kills, we can see top scorers were the M12, who ended on 4 kills, and also the Object 752 on the enemy team. He also got 4. And then it came 3 kills to Soul Collector. And in third place, joint third place, is the IS-2M on our team. And on the enemy team, their M53, M55, and their SU-130PM both got 2 kills. And we can see Oxagon only got the 1 kill, but of course he was focusing on getting damage on the enemy. When it came to base XP, he's got the top in that one on the team, but not the top overall. The Object 752 with the big damage, he got 748 because it was a draw, and we got second place with 644, followed by the M53, M55 on the enemy team with 544. I would question why he actually did go into that southern pass in the overhead aiming mode, because that's what he was trying to do at the time. It probably would have been easier for him to actually stay in third person mode. And then if he had spotted the enemy, he probably would have got a quicker shot off. But I think it was the M53, M55. Well, he was probably in third person, and that's why it made it easier for him shooting downwards onto Oxagon. So when it came to details, 19 shots in this game. That's a lot. 4 direct hits on the enemy, 3 penetrating shots. So you saw some of those right at the start. The Progetto, the AT7. He really hammered those guys by taking large chunks of their hit points. He got 12 splashes as well. 5,412 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He did receive 1 hit. It was a hit by way of splash damage, and that came from the M53, M55, and it completely wiped out Axis. It went straight through his armor. 1 enemy vehicle spotted. That would have been the M53, M55, I think. 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 1 killed, 413 hit points of damage assistance, and 298 of stun assist of 14 stuns. So not much in the way of stun assist. That's probably why he didn't get the ace tanker on this occasion. On a premium count, he actually made a loss of 12,348 credits from this game. And he also took away 1,518 experience points as well. As it comes for the credit, well, mostly down to the fact that he did have to pay for consumables at full price. I tried to buy them when they're half price, and that makes them much, much cheaper. Plus, of course, it does improve your figures over the rest of the season. So always a good idea to buy up loads of the consumables whilst they're nice and cheap. So I hope you enjoyed that battle. First, the one with the M53, M55 on Mines, and then this follow-up one in the 212A on Karelia map. Both of them very interesting by a third mark player. If you did enjoy the videos, please give them a like, do subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching.